going. It's very late, Ignacio. Give me a second. Good toast. So, everyone calls you Güero. See, my mother was a Lutheran missionary from Scandinavia, and my father, a deacon from Mexico. They tried to convert each other, but they got married instead. And then they died. So anyways, let's get down to the nitty-gritty. Tell me, who is this Encarnacion? Well, my favorite color is light tan. My favorite animal is poopies. I like serving the Lord. Hiking, playing volleyball. You gotta be kidding me. Everything you just said is my favorite thing to do every day. So, you enjoy yourself here at the Brotherhood? The children, I love the children. They are my heart. But to tell you the truth, the brothers make me cook stew and stuff all day, but they don't give me money for fresh ingredients. And they don't think I know a buttload of crap about the gospel, but I do, okay? Today, I saw a man in town. People were throwing daisies at him and giving him goodies. Sometimes I would like that kind of respect. Who was this man? Well, to tell you the truth, he was a luchador. Wrestling is ungodly, Ignacio. People cheer for him, but he is a false idol. Whatever. Be patient, brother. This too shall pass.
Oh, man, that's so good. I adore that movie. I wish Brian had the same sentiment, but he does not. He said he's only seen it one time. Oh, what? My gosh. You need to watch it again, and you need to get the full force of that movie. It is so good. Jack Black at his finest. Just absolutely. That's his finest.
That's his opus.
Yeah, his magnum opus is Nacho Libre.
Nacho Libre.
It's funny because there's a TikTok going around, that new song Miley Cyrus's Flower or Flowers or whatever.
Yeah.
Where she says, I can buy myself flowers, and then it like cuts to Ignacio saying Encarnacio, and it's like,
Ignacio.
It's like, did she steal that rhythm from Nacho Libre to make her song, her hit song? Oh man, that's such a good movie. So Nacho Libre, if you haven't seen it, please go watch that one. It is so good. It's a Nickelodeon film, fun for the whole family. There's beans, there's salads, there's farts. What what more could you need? Anyways, welcome back everybody to yet another episode of Bump That episode 98. If you don't know who we are, we've got Brian in this corner.
Don't you know I've had the diarrhea since Easter's?
There you go. And then we've got KT in this corner.
Esqueleto!
Give me a piece of that corn. Save me a piece of that corn for later. Oh man, and I'm Ileana, your host, and we are siblings who have a love for all things video games, movies, TV shows, everything nerdy and in between, stuff like that. And we decided to talk about it here on the internet, and here you are listening. So, welcome! We have a jam-packed news episode of DC, mostly DC, but there's some other stuff is there as well. And then we're going to be talking about, what is it called? Biopics? Biopics?
Musical biopics.
Musicals, yes. So that is for the chunk, so you'll want to stay tuned for that later. But first, we're going to jump into some DC news, and goodness, there is a lot.
I mean, it was kind of a slow news week all around.
Yeah.
So this was kind of the big stuff that came in later on in the week,
So it seems like James Gunn and Peter Safran had a lot to announce.
Yep. So the head of DC Studios, after months and weeks of the fans of DC freaking out because they have no idea what's going on, There were all these movies that were supposed to come out, and then they're not coming out. Remember, Henry Cavill got let go, and then he wasn't let go. He was never hired, or he was fired. Blah blah blah. Either way, we got the chart, the list here, the roster of the projects that DC is moving forward with.
So then, okay, let's go down the line. Batman 2. Is there an actor already? Is that's Robert?
That's continuing Bobby Pattinson.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're gonna continue with him, and then Superman Legacy. That's not Cavill.
That's not Cavill. It's gonna be a completely original Superman film with a younger Superman. Pretty much what they're saying. It's gonna be a film that's gonna be about Superman struggling with his Kryptonian roots. Okay. While also being here on Earth. So, and then plus still too, it wasn't on here, but there's still talks about your guys Mike B. Jordan doing a Black Superman movie too.
Okay.
So, wait, but okay, I don't have anything against that, but I feel like maybe I'm just a moron. You know what? I am a moron, but to me, he is more synonymous. Yeah, he's more synonymous with Fantastic Four.
Yeah, that was like 10 years ago, kid.
No, and then we'll get to it in a second, but who... Okay, we'll get to it in a second, so put a pin in that. Amanda Waller, spin-off from Peacemaker. I like Amanda Waller. Her story is very interesting, so I'll be excited
Viola
to see that
Davis. Yeah, she's cold.
Queen.
Yes,
Queen.
Definitely. Creature Commando. I do not actually know that.
Don't know. I don't know. Don't care.
Okay.
I think Brian had when he was younger. I think he had some Creature Commandos underwears. Or was that something else? Yeah, that's it. Dunkaroos.
Those are probably the ones I had to throw away, so nobody could caught them when they got dookies on them. You know.
What the heck?
What? What did you just bring up?
Hey, you
guys' reaction.
No, that's I respect that. You know, you roasted.
No, because that's on.
If
you were a liar if you've never, had the Hershey squirts in the underwears and then you threw them away so that your parents would never find them. Hey, what happened to all your underwear? I don't know. You do the laundry.
The dog ate them. We don't have a dog. Well, that's the problem now, isn't it? The dog got it. Where's this dog?
Oh, that's funny. Everyone in the comments is going, yeah, man, been there before. We had the Hershey squirts. Oh, my gosh.
They're probably listening to us right now with the Hershey squirts.
Go to the bathroom. Wipe yourself.
So, kids.
Wait. Real quick. This I saw on TikTok, again, because I spend some time on there after school. Are you guys a toilet paper folder, or are you a toilet paper crumbler?
I'd say more of like a roller. I roll it around my hand, like I wrap it around my hand, and then I guess I flatten it into a square.
Okay. Yeah, I understand.
All right, so when I take the toilet paper, I grab a nice chunk, okay, and I make it into like a little poof ball, okay?
Yeah.
And then I take that poof ball and clean up everything.
Stick it where the sun doesn't shine.
I have the poof ball, and then I just toss it. I don't fold it. I don't flick it. I don't crumple it. Why would I crumple it? It's already a poof ball.
Listen, when you're getting it off the roll.
There are people who will sit there and they will fold it and then wipe. Or they will rip it off the thing and then crumble it and then wipe.
No, I
don't crumble it. I
poof ball.
Poof ball.
What does that mean?
A poof ball, you take it, and then you don't crumple it like a piece of paper. You just take it and make it a nice ball shape, and then then you go to town.
So how's the surface area of that ball? Like
it's like a cotton ball. It's nice and round. It's got a circumference, a diameter, and everything.
Brian's wiping his butt with the mushroom, the puffball mushroom. Have you all seen that?
I've been doing this for like 10 years now, okay? Wiping my butt for 10 years.
By himself. Everyone applaud him.
Yes. Thank you.
This is what Brian's wiping his butt with. The puffball mushroom.
Oh my goodness. Oh my.
You know those mushrooms that just are white and they're a circle? That's what he's apparently wiping his butt with.
No, in all honesty, I've been doing it, wiping my butt for like 20 years. So.
You know, you really don't need to, explain.
I just want you guys. I don't want anybody to be like, "Whoa, wait a minute."
Wait, Brian's needed help his whole life? What happened? Was there a horrible accident?
Anyway, yeah, that's what led to the puffball. He had an accident.
And the Dunkaroos.
Let's move before we move on to the next dump that is DC. What do you guys think about those toilets that shoot water up your butt? What are those called? The
bidets?
Bidets.
I almost said duvet.
What are you guys on the bidet farm or anti?
I am, and we actually have one in our house. Hunter and I have one in our bathroom.
Ew! Whoa!
So fancy.
It's just an add-on. It's literally like $30.
Okay.
No, thank you.
I used one in Japan, and I felt violated, and then Hunter really wanted one, so he added it to the bathroom. I'm like, let me try it out. And I tried it out again. I'm like, you know what? This is really helpful. It just saves you so much on toilet paper. I'm just going to say that. It just saves you so much on toilet paper.
I don't like cold water going up my hiney, so.
It's like a breath of fresh air. Kind of like a...
Nah. Nah.
Like, this is how it feels to chew five gum.
Yes, the water. That's what it's like to chew 5 gum.
Just talking about it, I'm like squeezing my butt cheeks. So.
Anyways, let's move on. Brian's Dunkaroos were not soiled today. All right. Anyways, okay. So today, Supergirl. Woman of Tomorrow in development. Do we have an actress for that? Since it's in development.
Not yet.
Not even anything.
In pure development right now.
Okay. So just the thought of it has been just thrown into existence.
A Supergirl movie, which they haven't done one since the 80s. So.
Gosh. And I actually do like Supergirl's character in the animated series. She's cool. So hopefully they'll do her justice. Anyways, moving on. Batman, the Brave and the Bold TV show. That's going to be live action.
Yeah, I don't even know. It said Brave and the Bold, and I was like, the only Brave and the Bold that I know is Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't really know. Do we need a Batman show or?
No, we don't.
I don't know. All right, Booster Gold. That is a name that I have totally forgotten and just like flashed back into my mind. Booster Gold. Why is that going to be a movie?
I only know Mark Hamill as Booster Gold. That's it. I other than that, I have nothing. I know nothing about the character.
Gosh, that is such a throwback name. Why am I like, oh yes, Booster Gold? How do I remember that?
Booster is like every kid's TV show character's name from the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
Hey, Booster.
The first thing it reminds me of is Super Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars. There is a whole level that's dedicated to this guy, and his name is Booster, and he's got like a casino. It's a giant tower, and Peach is at the very top. That's all that this makes me think of, Booster Gold.
So, looking at this, there are a few different actors who want to play Booster Gold. So, Nathan Fillion says that he wants to play Booster Gold, and then Booster
Fillion? Dang.
Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah, no, it's like Fillion. He's worked with James Gunn before.
Okay, so maybe...
Yeah, maybe.
And then Booster Gold TV show announced amid Chris Pratt casting hopes. So, gosh. our boy Pratt might just get another role, so.
Jeez. Chris. Woof.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. Well, we'll leave that to a different story. He's just going to cross over to the DC after being with Marvel for so long. I don't see that
Well,
happening.
Gunn did say he is going to poach a lot of Marvel actors for DC, so be prepared for that.
He needs
Good
some
luck.
reliable actors, though. Like, I would love for him to take some of Marvel's actors and get some good contracts going, because, good lord, whatever was working for them before was clearly not working. They had some crap actors. Gosh, you had Amber Heard, you have Ezra Miller, you've got all these actors, and then you no, just kidding. That was Marvel. So, just, I don't know. You need some good eggs. So, keep trying. Maybe steal some of those Marvel people. We'll see.
I think we need some new eggs, but that's just my opinion.
And that is also true as well. I think we need some new faces. So, next is Paradise Lost. What is that?
Themyscira. Themyscira is the secret island where Wonder Woman and the Amazonian ladies live.
Yeah. Oh, Hera.
Yeah, Hera and all those gals they come from. So it's supposed to be like a Game of Thrones show.
Okay.
Set in Themyscira. So that's why I put in there for the adults that know Scissor Me Timbers, because it's gonna be one of those. If it's Game of Thrones, it's gonna be like a lot of we all know.
Jason Momoa and that other chick, you know.
No, but there's only it's just chicks.
Okay, so then
there's no men. No men are allowed in Themyscira.
Hopefully then
That's
it's
why I'm
not like that.
Come on, I thought Katie would have got that one. Come on, bro. Seriously?
She gets it. She gets it.
No, like the joke about the Scissor Me Timbers.
Yes, no, we get the joke.
I get it now. Can we move on?
Everyone's
Oh my
uncomfortable.
God.
Just kidding.
Lord.
Okay, so now we're going to return back to that pin, and I'm going to take it out again. Green Lantern. Michael B. Jordan would be an awesome Green Lantern from Justice League. Now, that would just be perfect, in my opinion.
I would think you need to get somebody a little bit older.
No, I don't think so.
John Stewart. I mean, Mike B. Jordan's like 35.
Yeah, you could play him up a little bit older if you need to, more mature. He doesn't have to look so young, facially. You just make him look a little more mature, and then it can happen.
I don't know. I mean,
I'm not saying it's a bad choice. It's not a bad choice. I for me personally, I think I would want somebody a little bit older.
I would. I mean,
you want a Ryan Reynolds again?
No.
He's older.
No.
You want Chris Pratt?
No.
I think even Chris Pratt would say no if they offered him that role.
It's a very delicate role to capture again because of how badly it went with Ryan Reynolds and that movie just trashing. So, I mean, you got to be very careful now.
I do want to put a pin in with Chris Pratt. We'll come back to Chris Pratt later.
Okay.
Of course we will.
We're putting pins everywhere today. All right, and then we've also got Swamp Thing.
Yeah,
I don't even know what that is.
I don't even follow Swamp Thing. I know, like, Gordon Levitt's been attached to Swamp Thing, like, forever.
Okay. Well,
yeah. How do you say that? Oh yeah, I'm in a DC film, man. I play the main guy. Oh yeah, what movie? Like, are you a villain? Are you gonna be like the Riddler? Are you gonna be who are you gonna be? I'm gonna be the Swamp Thing.
What?
What?
You're
you know the Swamp Thing. Yeah, I go way back in history. Okay.
Well, good luck with that, buddy. Eee. No, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like, DC they have really good characters from, like, Batman to Spider-Man, whatever. And I feel like they just don't do much with it.
Spider-Man.
Or, I'm sorry. From Spider-Man to Superman, they're just not really doing anything with it.
Nope.
They don't, use their assets.
I mean, apparently, from what James Gunn has said the past, 48 hours, that the pre-executives at DC, they pretty much crapped the bed with all their stuff. He's calling them out. He's just they had the opportunity to do some amazing stuff. They screwed Henry Cavill out of Man of Steel 2. They did all this stuff. They didn't, they just, blue chunks all over the franchise.
Yeah.
And, everything.
Chunky.
Because whoever now
Yeah.
takes over Superman is gonna be, looked at very harshly because it's not Cavill anymore, and Cavill
Yeah.
was perfect.
But I think Gunn is like, listen, we're gonna try to steer this in the right direction, where this is gonna be a coherent storyline akin to the MCU, where there's a good beginning, middle, and an end, and it's gonna be consistency. I mean, at least you had that. At least you had Downey Jr. through 10 films as
Yeah.
Iron Man, till the very end.
Yeah.
And that tells they did a good job in like, hey, Downey Jr., we're gonna pay you $500 million
Yeah.
to be, and we're gonna make
And
sure
it kind
you're
of-
happy, you get paid and whatever you want.
To me, what's going on with DC is kind of reminiscent with what happened with Star Wars, in that there's like new directors, or not even new directors, but I don't know, like they're older. It's been many years since they've been able to make like good movies, and the directions are just completely going opposite, and the fans are like harping on it. They're giving it some crap, because they've been going through this whole thing and it's been crap. So they're like, come on, executives, come on, directors, producers, you guys need to actually do well and give us some good content, because the way you're going is not good. And that's how it was with Star Wars as well. And then so maybe like they went through their crappy part, and now they're trying to do the Star Wars thing where like they're giving us all this content and all this exciting stuff to try and fix the problem.
Yeah, I mean, it's not easy. If you have to keep actors on contract for 10 years, they got to look somewhat the same for 10 years.
Yeah.
And you got to map out a whole story too. I know Marvel, there's no way like when they wrote Iron Man, they're like, well, we're going to follow this route,
Yeah.
we're going to introduce these characters, and then by this part, we're going to introduce
Well,
guys,
even
and then-
Marvel was able to capture, and Star Wars, they both were able to capture using the face thing. I don't remember what that's called, but they were able to work with it and use either AI or, I don't know, project young faces on these old... I mean, they brought back Luke, for goodness sake, for Rogue One. Or no, Leia. Who was it?
Leia.
Yeah. So they're able to do stuff like that. They don't have to stay the same forever. They can, manipulate these faces digitally now. They have the means to do it. So I don't know. It's all excuses, it seems like. And they're just not making the wisest decisions. But I think now they're just trying to get content out there again to get, the masses back on DC, in DC's favor. So that's just my opinion.
I don't think it'll happen. They need a complete overhaul. It's gonna take years of. They really need a break, so that they can not make anything, and then restart. That's the only way that it's gonna become successful, in my opinion. But it's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
I don't know. Maybe they just need new direction, new faces.
They blew it, man. They had Gal Gadot, they had Henry Cavill, they had Momoa, they had all those guys. They had Affleck
They even
too.
had.
They
I
had
was gonna say Ben Affleck.
they had Affleck, and then they just let these guys go, and they blew it, man.
Yeah. So they're really gonna have to prove themselves, I guess, to us in whatever they decide to start creating, using, the Viola Davis, and using whoever they choose as Superman and Supergirl. They're gonna have like Booster Gold. Goodness, good luck. But
That or this is my last thought of this. That or it's going to become just a company, a franchise that's built on drama films,
Yeah.
such as Joker, the Batman.
Joker
You're not
2,
gonna,
yeah.
you're not gonna have these bombastic superhero films like
Marvel.
the MCU is doing. Yeah, you're just not gonna see that. And kids aren't gonna be able to go see that.
yeah.
So
Because, okay, let's look at what's been canceled, and then that will end our conversation for DC. What's been canceled? Wonder Woman 3, Man of Steel 2, Zatanna, Constantine, Batgirl, and Batman Beyond.
Like the things that I would actually be interested in seeing.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Except Constantine. Constantine was boring. I'm sorry.
Well, I think that was gonna be. I think it was supposed to be Constantine 2 with Keanu.
That's right. Yes.
He did fine, but it was just boring and long. I didn't quite enjoy
Shia
that
would
movie.
come back too. It'd be Keanu and Shia.
Yeah, okay. And hopefully he would do some actual work this time.
Oh.
Yeah.
He just got to kind of sit around and go, what the heck? I want to do something.
You know what I keep hearing too? They keep talking about Batgirl and how that got canceled. I mean, pretty much the movie was ready to go, but they said, "Look, we're doing you guys a favor. If that movie came out in the light of day, it would ruin careers." Can you imagine? Can you believe
That's
that?
just so bad. Like, how are they
Like-
doing this horribly creating films that this many things
Like-
were canceled?
I just don't get it. Like, so wait a minute. You're saying that you guys did like a 4-month production of Batgirl. You guys are seeing the movie dailies every day. There's action scenes being done. You guys already spent like millions of dollars on this.
Yes.
You got Brendan Fraser, who's about to make the comeback of a career and everything. And
Yeah.
he's gonna be all part of his legend. But then you're like, you know what? Screw it. This thing is garbage. If anybody saw this thing, it would be like Howard the Duck, or something.
Oh,
like that.
no.
Can you? I mean, it's so like imagine if they're like, whoa, this is Howard the Duck level bad. We can't allow this to come out, or this is what's worse than Howard the Duck.
I hope someday someone leaks what it would have been.
Star Wars Christmas special.
What?
Ileana, you know what that is, right?
No.
What?
Oh my gosh.
This is bump that. We're supposed to be nerds, bro. And
Star Wars. I'm not a huge fan of
okay.
Star Wars though, like old stuff.
Very, very briefly, it was an actual like TV movie. I think it was like an hour-long special where the characters of Star Wars were celebrating Christmas.
What?
And it was really, really bad. Everybody was in it, and it was really,
Like,
really
how
bad.
long ago was this?
It was like 78.
It was after.
Okay, so
Yeah.
the original cast.
Yeah.
The original cast.
Was it after New Hope or was it after Empire?
Yeah. No, it was after New Hope. Yeah.
Okay, I couldn't remember.
They made a Christmas special.
Oh yeah.
And in fact,
Mark
it
Hamill.
had the first iteration of Boba Fett before everybody knew. Before we ever saw Boba Fett, there was an animated movie with Boba Fett. That's why people have always been like Boba Fett, Boba Fett, Boba Fett. Like, man, screw
like,
Boba
my
Fett.
butt.
Bump that.
Bump that.
Mark
Yeah.
Hamill rates his movies based on how terrible, like from good to bad. Is it Star Wars Christmas Special bad?
Yikes.
Yeah.
To even be a part of something that you know is bad.
Yeah, but not as bad as
He still got paid.
Not as bad as the Super Mario Brothers movie from 1980, whatever,
So,
1989 or
Yeah.
90,
No, that's like 92.
92? Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So what do you think? Do you think like this Batgirl movie was as bad as Super Mario Brothers or Howard the Duck? And they're like, listen, guys, we're gonna save your careers. We're not gonna release this.
Maybe not that bad, but it could have been pretty bad. Like,
But
no-
they've already
no-
spent like 80 mil. 80
Yikes.
mil, and they're like,
well, somebody didn't screwed it.
Yeah.
It was
like how bad did these directors do that they're like?
It's like they kept digging their hole. They're like, no,
Yes, even deeper.
It's like the Lloyd Christmas thing. We're in a hole. We gotta dig ourselves out.
Fine, I'm going home. I'm walking home.
Speaking of the Super Mario Brothers movie, though, did you guys see that new trailer? It's like 30 seconds.
Yeah, it was garbage. I'm getting worried about this movie.
We hear Donkey Kong, Seth Rogen.
And he doesn't even sound like Seth Rogen. Sounds
It doesn't,
horrible.
no.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Unpopular opinion.
Meow.
I actually
Yeah, that was bad. Oh, that was bad.
unpopular opinion. I didn't actually hate it. I thought that actually the worst
No,
part
man.
was Chris Pratt. Chris Pratt is gonna drag this movie down.
Oh my gosh, I think
Poor
you might be right.
guy. I think you might also be correct, but they're we'll see. We just have to wait and
No,
see.
but you know what? I don't blame Chris Pratt though. The point is, why did they cast him? Why were they
No,
like?
why
you know
did he
what?
audition for it?
He doesn't. Chris Pratt doesn't audition for anything. He's Chris Pratt. He just takes what's his. But they shouldn't have.
Why are you
offered it to
making him
man.
the villain?
Take it.
He's sounding like a
not-
villain now.
Oh my gosh.
He just takes
No.
it.
No, but they're
Mario
like
is actually the villain of the show of the movie.
no. If
Yeah.
they're like Chris Pratt, we'd like to offer you Mario. Of course, I'm Chris Pratt, yo.
Well, that's
But
what he
this-
said. He said he's always wanted to play Mario, but he's like
Oh
it's
my
like he's not
gosh.
giving his all to the character whatsoever.
Well, that's like me saying, okay, I've always dreamt of playing Spider-Man. Y'all, I'm going to be the next Spider-Man. That doesn't make me Spider-Man.
And Katie's trying to parkour off of like a car or
Yeah.
something in this action scene. She's like,
Wait, but here's one thing about Mario movie I'm really worried about.
Okay.
Is that it is so like there's so many Easter eggs to the video game
Yeah.
that it just becomes it's just too much. It doesn't follow its own story. Like why does he have to wear a cat costume? Why do they have to have so many costumes and throwbacks to the video games? Is
To
it
sell.
absolutely necessary to do all that?
To sell merchandise.
Or to try to make sense of the games because they're so
Maybe.
random.
Maybe
But
maybe Brian's concern is that the movie will be more like an amusement park.
Or a big commercial.
But
Yeah.
it's like, all right, you have Mario. He only needs to have one costume change, honestly, in this first movie.
And it should be the fire flower.
No, it should
yeah,
be the cape.
exactly. That's it.
Either the cape
No,
or the
it
flower.
should not. No, yeah, the flower. The flower was
flower.
from the first movie. Yeah.
Yes.
And then later on in sequels, you can do a cape and he can fly.
And then
But he
Tanuki
should
Mario
only
or something.
Yeah, then he should
I want the
only
frog.
have.
No one remembers the frog. That's
gonna
more
do the-
Easter eggy than the cat.
Man, well, it's
They're gonna
more-
have the frog suit, the penguin suit,
Yeah.
the little razzle dazzle hat suit.
He'll get
with
really
the helicopter.
big, and
you
he'll
know.
Oh,
get
and
really
then you have-
tiny.
I want the cherries where it multiplies you. Suddenly there are two Marios.
Yeah.
And then
Or
two
he'll get the
Peaches.
star and he'll go Super Saiyan and be like,
Wait, Katie, you have a star. Where's your
And
star?
I do
and
have it.
then he'll be.
Oh no!
Did the battery die?
Kamehameha.
Of all the times we needed it, it was now.
No!
Dang. Just throw it against the wall. It's useless now.
Useless. I was hoping that would activate it.
Yeah.
Oh, Damn it.
Yeah, and then you have Mario Kart. That's another Easter egg that they threw in there. So I'm not sure how that direction is going to go with the film, but we shall see.
I'm there for it.
I am there for
I'm
it.
all there.
We were seeing the Puss in Boots movie, and that was a commercial to it. Leo and I both have birthdays in April, and I leaned over to him watching the movie. We're like, we're going to go see that for our birthdays. And he was like so excited because I'm like, even I want to see it, man. I want to see it for my birthday. I'll be turning 26 years old. Take me to the Mario movie. Anyways, speaking of, real quick, I wanted to make an announcement for Puss in Boots. The Last Wish. Y'all, go watch this film. It could easily be in my top 20 favorite animated films. I'll say that.
Whoa, are you serious?
Easily. You had comedy. You had amazing animation. Let me just tell you, that animation was Spider-Verse level. Oh my gosh, the camera angles, the character animations, everything was perfect. Wow. Okay. So what was that? We had comedy, we had animation, perfect animation. You had suspense. Ryder and I were actually terrified at some of the points starring the main villain, which you don't really know the main villain until you go see the film. The commercials do not spoil anything, which I think is wonderful. Wow, what a... I don't even know how to describe this character. Just menacing, just eerie, lurking. Whoa. And the way they portray him is just... it was scary. I need to go watch this movie again, but I need everybody to go watch this movie. It was so good. And then you had heartfelt, like actually heartfelt moments where you're like, this is deep. Like, DreamWorks, you're doing it. You're making this happen right now. Or either my heart is racing because I'm scared, or it's slowing down because now I feel, sadness in this moment. Like, they hit the nail so hard on this one. I need everybody to go watch this film and then come back and talk to me and be like, you were right. You were right, Ileana. That movie was killer. Because it really was.
Okay.
I was so impressed with this film. Voice acting, amazing as well. Antonio Banderas, I am Puss in Boots. And then his singing and everything, it was great. It was so much fun to watch too. I cracked up. It was so funny. The comedy in the film, I was laughing so hard. It was, oh my gosh, the little dog showing his belly, and it had like a little scar on it, and he's so disgusting llooking. He's like, you want to pet my belly? You're like, ugh. No one would want to touch that thing. It's so gross. But he was so sweet. I won't spoil anything else about it, but go watch it, please. It was so good. Your kids will love it too. Please, go watch this film.
Nice. I've got something really quick, if you can spare me, like
Yeah,
minute or two.
we have time.
So, last week we were talking about Splash Mountain. It is no longer. And so I asked on Facebook, I asked a poll, I released a poll. I asked, are you sad to see Splash Mountain transform into the Princess and the Frog? What are you going to miss? Do you care at all? And we got a lot of responses.
I was shocked.
Responded. And so we got some mixed things. Sydney says, shout out to Sydney. How you doing?
Sydney!
Happy birthday! Happy birthday!
Happy birthday, Sydney!
I think
Who's
as long
Sydney?
That's my future sister-in-law.
Yo, Sydney!
Shit.
I think as long as it still has the same atmosphere and the water drop / aspect, I think she said splash aspect, I'll be happy. I love the Princess and the Frog movie, so I'm happy that it's getting its own ride, but Splash Mountain will always have a special place in my heart because of all the memories I have about it.
Aw, Sydney.
As long as the Princess and the Frog ride is done correctly, then I'll be happy. And then Catherine says, I think it'll be a great, in all caps, addition to the park. I love Princess and the Frog, so I think some park representation is long overdue. I also am not a fan of Splash Mountain because I don't do well with drops, so it won't really impact me in the long run. When it reopens, I'll probably ride it once to see the re-theming, and that'll be it for me. Amber says, I'm excited to see / hear the changes they make. I just hope they don't use those weird projected faces like on the Frozen ride. I know what she's talking about. Julie says, so sad. Ruins the nostalgia of the park. So someone who's not a fan of the change.
Wow.
Heather says, it's an end to an era. I'm excited to see the new ride. And I'm also excited for the new Moana ride at Epcot. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that was happening. Awesome.
That's right. Eileen says, yeah, I'm bummed about it, but I'm also still disappointed about Mr. Toad's Wild Ride and Maelstrom. Eileen, you've got to get over Mr. Toad. That was a creepy ride, and I'm glad they replaced it with Winnie the Pooh. There, I said it! I'm glad they replaced it with Winnie the Pooh.
Dang.
All right, and then last one, Michelle says, Disney executives decided a few years ago that the movie it was based on was supposedly racist. It was
Song of the South. Yikes.
Yeah. So they decided to retheme it. So many people came to ride it one last time this week. I know one of the cast members that was on the final team. It was very emotional for a lot of people. Others are super excited to see something new. Some people are trying to sell the last day of Splash Mountain water on eBay. The end.
Oh my gosh.
I believe that.
Yeah.
I believe that. But thank you guys for answering my poll. You answered the call.
Yes.
And
the call of Splash Mountain. May
Tell
you
your friends
rest
to
in peace.
subscribe.
Yes. Subscribe to bump that. Woo!
If you're
Give us a
if
like.
You're not subscribed, if you're not subscribed, what are you doing? Become a sibling.
Yeah, once you hit that subscribe button, you're an honorary sibling. Become part of the family.
You can join in the debate about, do we roll the toilet paper around our hand? Do we turn it into a ball? Do we crumble it up?
We talk about all sorts of bathroom issues when you're family.
Oh, dear.
Join the family. All right, let's keep it going. We're almost done with news, I promise. Kind of. King of the Hill officially headed to Hulu. Original voices are returning.
Yay!
Yay! Okay, moving on.
Cool.
Bad Boys. Bad Boys 4 on the way with Will Smith and Martin Lawrence.
Don't care.
I'm excited for Bad Boys 4 for the fans, though. It's a really great show, apparently, and I haven't seen it yet, but I love what it's doing.
It's a movie. It's not a show.
Oh, wait. I'm thinking The Boys. I'm sorry.
Oh. No,
I'm thinking The Boys. I'm very sorry.
No.
Yes.
Will Smith on The Boys? How far has his career dropped?
I'm sorry. I was completely thinking The Boys. My bad. Because it actually was on season 3, so that was my bad. Bad Boys 4. Okay, well.
Don't care.
Don't care.
Don't care.
Well, all right, Avatar: The Last Airbender mobile game officially available. I might download it myself and try it out.
I did. The graphics are actually not bad for a mobile game. Now, maybe I'm just a little old school. I don't play mobile games, so I'm not up to date with.
Yo, dude, you got games on your phone? You got any games?
You got Raid Shadow Legends. No, I don't.
I don't. No.
But so
nor
far,
do I have the Candy Crush.
I do have Candy Crush on it.
She does have games on her phone. Yo, bro, you got games on your phone? You got any games?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I've been playing Clash of Clans since 2012.
Wow, yeah, I can't believe you still play that game.
And I also have Z Escape. I don't know if you guys ever heard of that one.
Nope. The only game I have on my phone is Sort Puzz, and that's like a puzzle where you have like the liquids where you have to unmix the colors. I like that game a lot.
But for the Avatar game, it works like a regular RPG. It's turn-based. It's pretty basic from what I've played so far, but I mean, it's pretty good. It looks pretty good. If you have time and mobile gaming's your thing, then I would recommend downloading it. It's worthwhile.
Okay.
It's free, so there you go. I'm sure it has in-game purchases, but none that I've seen so far.
Okay, well, that's good then. Okay, so Avatar. I think I'm gonna get it just to try it out. And then the last one, which will lead us into the chunk. Michael Jackson's nephew, Jafar Jackson, to play King of Pop and is it Antoine?
Antoine Fuqua.
Yeah, I didn't want to pronounce that one. Antoine Fuqua directed Biopic. Yeah. What?
So I was wondering, I remember Katie sent me this news. At first I wasn't going to post it, but then I was like, you know what? This could lead into the chunk.
Yeah.
But I was wondering, how much of this biopic about Michael Jackson are they going to cover the nitty gritty? Who said nitty gritty earlier? Who's the now? I'm.
That was
I
from
did.
the nitty gritty.
We need to get down to the nitty gritty.
So I was like, are we going to get down to the nitty gritty about Michael Jackson? Because, I mean, the past few years, some really nitty gritty stuff has really come up about him.
Yeah.
So how much of it is going to be, moonwalking, and then how's it going to be like, ooh, Neverland Ranch, all the details.
Yikes. So you think that will be mentioned in the movie?
But that's the thing. So
that would be the only way to do it.
No, but you can't. It's his nephew. It's his nephew doing the movie.
Then it would be a farce, and everybody would know it.
Yeah.
Exactly. So is it a true bio? So remember the show that we love. You and I love and adore, Jackson's The American Story.
Hey, I like that one too. Don't exclude me from this.
But me and Katie grew up with that movie. So anyway,
I was there.
In that movie,
She was there crying in the corner.
Oh my gosh.
Wait, okay, Katie. I'm gonna lose my train of thought. All right, listen. In that movie, that was like an unauthorized biography. They were not afraid to show some bad stuff. The Jackson dad, Joe Jackson, was beating the kids, having affairs. The teenage boys were sending groupies into the rooms and doing all that good stuff. And
I'm glad they didn't play it off as this was amazing. This was everybody's story that you want to have. This is real life. Come on.
Yeah, so, I mean, it was like, man, these guys really worked hard to get here, the Jackson 5, but there was also like, man, this is really tough. Like, holy crap, these kids are really messed up and everything. How are they going to live? But it wasn't, so, I mean, but this is Michael Jackson. This is,
Jackson!
This is from the 60s of Jackson 5, Wizard of Oz, Thriller, all that, The Occult.
It wasn't even the Wizard of Oz, it was The Wiz.
The Wiz, all that, and then what's Lisa Marie Presley marriage, then we got Neverland, then we got almost dropping the baby, the kids, we got plastic surgery, we got
Barbara
so
Walters
much stuff.
Interview.
Yikes.
I mean, so are they going to put all this? But since this is from the family's perspective, where they're producing it, are they going to be the ones that are like, man, we're going to make sure this thing is like jam packed with as much R-rated stuff that it can handle? Because the guy lived an R-rated life. So, or is it going to be a very clean cut,
I think they're going to try and keep it
polished version?
I think they're going to try and keep it as safe as possible, but maybe true to the story. So maybe they'll find ways to like hint at it without saying what happened exactly, because is it appropriate to say those things like in a movie, or will they just go out?
And does Macaulay Culkin play himself? That's all I want to know.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Here's my thing.
Oh my gosh, Brian's evil laughter.
Oh my gosh. I said this last week. If it happened that way, then it happened, and you don't need to sugarcoat it. It happened that way.
But also too, these are allegations. They haven't been on.
Listen, there is no allegations. They just don't want to release the truth. They don't.
But remember,
there was footage of Blanket.
Exactly. Blanket. Listen, it was true. It did happen, but there's mountains.
No. Those allegations are untrue. They're
Wait.
Or not. They haven't been unfalsified.
They have not been publicly disclosed, because that would crumble the empire that is Michael Jackson. It would tarnish his name forever. So you think that do you really think they're going to release those things? However, if you're going to release a biopic, if you're going to spend the time and money and resources and put that guy's name out there, then you better do it the right way. You have to include the truth. And it's so close to the past. We're still, like, it's not like 50 years, like it happened 50 years ago where he passed away. He
passed away in 2008 or 9 or something like that?
Yeah, I think it was 2010, actually. 2009, 2010, something like that. It's still so close to our relevant history that we can remember when he hung Blanket off of the balcony. We remember the Barbara Walters interview. We remember the investigations into the Neverland Ranch. So for them to skirt around it would be a disservice to his fans and a disservice to the truth.
He's just ignorant. He's just ignorant.
Think he can play with me. Oh my God, his nose fell off.
Didn't he have a chimp?
Sorry. Yes.
Yeah, Bubbles.
Bubbles.
Yeah,
Bubbles. So if you're going to lie or skirt around the truth, then don't bother. Now, I don't mind subtle hints to things. If you don't want to hit everything, which I don't think you should do, and you don't have the time to do it because not everything can be covered, but you can hint at certain things that happened. But to say, it's kind of fuzzy. It may or may not have happened. I mean, who's to say? You know,
who's to say?
Were you there? With the cameras? No. All right. So then either make it the right way or don't. Don't make it at all.
I don't know, man. I mean, it's obviously, like I said, his nephew Jafar is going to be playing him. So, I mean,
Listen,
is it like
if
did Uncle Mike really do this?
Jafar, he said, man, if he can't do it, great!
yeah.
Oh man.
I guess. Oh my gosh! All right, it's Mr.
That got you.
Brian is Mr. Dink from Doug. Brian is Mr. Dink from. Yeah, exactly. Yes.
No, I don't know. I think it's gonna have to be handled very delicately.
Oh yeah.
To put it.
Well, then don't do it. If you're like I said, if you're gonna water it down or skirt around the truth, then don't do it. No, it's disrespectful. That is disrespectful to everybody.
I don't know. He's the king of pop. You want to get a great story. He had amazing music. He had amazing dance moves that he came up with. He was such an icon. Are you going to focus on all of the bad things? Like, I don't know.
So here's the thing, though. Look, go ahead, Katie. Go ahead.
One last thing, and I'll get off my soapbox.
Lulu stole soap today and started eating it.
Delicious. All right. It is also a disservice and a slap in the face to any of the victims that were affected by Michael Jackson.
Ooh.
You're right.
Absolutely. Because I'm sure that a lot of people were traumatized by the things that he allegedly did to them.
Uh-huh.
So I'm going to leave it at that.
Okay. So this my only thing I think about, so we're going to leading into the chunk. We're talking about a lot of the musical biopics. Recently, I watched Elvis. I know Katie saw it, and we both really liked the film. But Hollywood loves musical biopics. Johnny Cash, Queen, Elton John, Dewey Cox, Aretha Franklin, N.W.A., Whitney Houston just had one too. But if you look at all those guys, all those acts and everything, none of them were, as far as I know, alleged for sexual abuse of a child. So this is the first time they've had to go to those grounds.
Yeah.
I mean, Johnny Cash, yeah, he drugs. Queen, gay sex. Aretha, abortions, drugs, alcohol. Elvis, drugs.
That's the thing with these. They're just real people that made it big. They're just real people.
But none of them have had allegations of fooling around with kids and then having a whole system trying to hide it. You know what I'm saying? So are they gonna, whether it did happen or it didn't happen, that whole cloud is still over the Michael Jackson name. Yeah. So it's just like, man, how do they address it? Do they depict the raid when the cops go to Neverland Ranch and they harass Michael Jackson, investigate the area. They do a full body search on him, and everything and all that stuff. Or they just like, no, we're not going to touch that. We're just going to look at the genius of the man and everything that he had to rise above, so...
I don't know. Only but that will be there.
Yeah, because then it's like they're going to release this film. And it's like, well, this doesn't tell everything. It's
right. Maybe then it will be not a true biopic. And like Katie said, the victims will have been seeing this person who allegedly hurt them be glorified into existence forever,
Or like Ray Charles. Ray Charles is another one. Just drugs and, he had a lot of, he's fooling around with a lot of women. But he didn't touch any kids, So I don't know.
Only time will tell. We'll just have to wait and see and then go watch the films ourselves and then form an opinion. So bump that. Will be there for the Michael Jackson film whenever that comes out.
Probably.
And it is awkward, too, because it's his nephew. Like Katie said in the beginning. It is, or Brian said, it is family who is playing. So it's like, How are they going to do it? How much detail are they going to put into this? I don't know. Only time will tell. But let's go ahead and go into the chunk zone.
So chunky.
All right, Brian. Ew, why are we throwing up now? Brian, you were the one who gave us the idea for this chunk, so why don't you introduce it to us?
Again, yeah, so pretty much kind of going off of lots of musical biopics. Hollywood loves them. They get lots of attention at the Oscars and at the awards. And box office-wise, they do really well. One of the biggest movies of the year was Elvis, directed by Baz Luhrmann. I just watched it. I was really impressed by the actor, Austin Butler, playing Elvis. I personally wasn't a big fan of Elvis's music. I just wasn't really introduced to it. But I was like, wow, this is some good music. And during the film, when you start seeing like his early days and everything, and he starts gyrating and everything, and this is the first time that anybody ever did anything like that on a public stage or on this level.
Yeah.
And just seeing all the women like, why do I feel like this?
But that's what happened to Michael Jackson too, and we'll have to wait and see, man.
Laughing. I was just gut busting because it was so funny seeing these women who were so like.
They're literally screaming their faces off sometimes.
Well,
yeah, but then
like they literally go from like very stoic and proper to they cannot contain themselves. They scream and they wonder why
they soiled their Dunkaroos that day. All of them.
What was it? Their Commander Crocodiles. What is it?
Yeah, Commando or Creature Commando.
That's it, Commander Crocodile.
Anyways, so, but I mean, it was great. So, I mean, I like the musical biopics because it introduces me to music that may not have been like Ray introduced me to Ray Charles and the old school blues, Johnny Cash, just good music all around. So my question for the crew today for the show is name top 3 musical acts that need to get their music biopic, and who would you cast in the role?
So, before the show started, I kind of was having a hard time, I guess, figuring out who I would want to watch because, I don't know. I was born in 1997. I don't have as many fond memories with old singers as Brian and Katie do since they had, I don't know. They're closer to the time of records. No, but I just don't, I never listened to that kind of music from like older singers. I listen to 90s music and 2000s and so on. So newer stuff is pretty much what I listen to. The old people who would probably deserve a biopic, I just don't know music of them well enough. So mine is going to be kind of boring, but Brian and Katie, I think, have more interesting things to say anyways. So we'll leave it up to them. Carry it away.
Well, Ileana, what were your 2 picks that you mentioned so that you can, because they were also on my list and I just want to get them out of the way.
So actually, while we were talking, I thought it would be interesting, just carrying on and talking about deceased singers, Tupac.
Yeah, he's on my list too. I coupled Tupac and Biggie.
Okay, yeah, I think that would be an interesting one.
Biggie's had one. Biggie had a movie.
Yeah, but I mean, I want one that's done, kind of dramatized with Tupac in it. Sort of like getting both of their points of views.
Yeah.
So that you can see it from both their perspectives, and so you could go, oh, maybe should I side with him? But he had a good. I kind of like it, but kind of make you think a little bit.
It would be good, but I feel like that beef is like overblown.
Here's another one.
What? Many people died. What?
I don't think that was a real beef. I think it was just like manufactured. I'm just me. Maybe that's just me.
Whoa.
Conspiracy.
I don't know. Shots thrown, but
I mean, literally, people died.
Yeah, I know people died, but I don't think it's for the reason that you think it is that they died for.
No, it was because of gangs.
I don't think because
dying for
Biggie dissed Tupac or anything that he was like, oh man, they're out to get me, and that's why he got shot.
That's why we need a movie.
Right.
To tell
I'll be down
the
for that,
real
but
tale.
I think that then the truth would be very underwhelming.
The truth will be revealed.
But a Tupac movie would be good though.
Okay, and then here's my other one. Another deceased artist would be the singer of Linkin Park.
Ooh, Chester Bennington.
Chester, yeah.
Oh my gosh, that'd be tragic.
It would be so sad, but I think it would be worth the
Tragic.
story
That
to
is
watch.
That is an amazing pick, Ileana. Do you guys know like the beginning of his life?
No.
Didn't
he get shot?
Right?
Did he get shot in the throat?
He
Or something like that?
I don't know about getting shot, but he
No, I
was
don't know about that.
abused a lot.
I mean, his lyrics
Like
let it
his,
out.
by his family? By his
by
parents?
his family. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Gosh.
It's too bad.
this needs double checking, but I think it was an uncle.
Okay.
Wow. Uncle.
Yeah, that sucks,
So, yeah, it was
Yeah, it's
bad,
the worst.
and you could just hear the pain in his voice, man.
Yeah, every song.
That's
The thing
a
is
good
too though,
freaking
I mean
pick,
that
man.
yeah, he's an inspiration, still is to millions and the music that still plays. So, yeah. It's that's a
He had
shame.
6
It's kind of a
children.
shame.
I mean, that's just
What?
even
I
sadder.
had no idea about that. Dang.
He had 2 different spouses, but 6
Yeah.
children to leave behind. Amazing music. It's just tragic. His mother was a nurse, and his father was a police detective who worked on child sexual abuse cases.
Which is just like it adds to the irony.
Bennington was a victim of sexual abuse from an older male friend when he was 7
Was a
years
friend,
old.
Okay.
I mean, he was afraid to ask for help because he did not want people to think he was gay or lying, and the abuse continued until he was 13 years old. Years later, he revealed the abuser's identity to his father, but chose not to press charges. So, and then his parents got divorced. The abuse in this home situation affected him so much, he felt the urge to kill everybody and run away, in quotations. So I'm guessing that's from himself. To comfort himself, he drew pictures and wrote poetry. I mean, it's just, I feel like that, and then drug use and cocaine, meth, LSD, marijuana, opium, stuff like that. He was bullied in high school. That needs to be a story. That would just resonate, I think, with so many people.
I feel like it's a lot of rock stars' stories, though, because I was thinking about. I'll go ahead and go into one of mine off the top of my head. I want the Nirvana Kurt Cobain.
Yeah,
He's on my list also. He is definitely on my list.
That was unofficial for mine. I'm sorry I stole it. That wasn't like true,
no,
but I was thinking about it.
No,
I've got a whole
but
list
here's the thing that makes those ones interesting. Like, they are no longer with us. You have...
Yeah, I mean, part of the legend for a lot of these guys is in order for them to become who they are, they have to kill themselves, which is sad.
Yeah, they are no longer with us. They had a horrible beginning. They succeeded though in life, but sometimes life gets the best of you, and they ended. And then my last one I'll say is Dolly Parton. Just because she's awesome.
She's at the top of my list, and she's got a tragic beginning to her life.
And but hang on before you go on, because then I'll stop talking here. I chose Scarlett Johansson to voice her, or to play her.
Oh, okay, I can see that, and she can actually sing.
Yes, she can sing.
She's got a great voice.
So that's what I chose, and then now you guys take it away.
All right, so Dolly Parton was the daughter. She actually has a movie. I think it's called Coal Miner's Daughter.
Coal Miner's Daughter is about Loretta
Lynn. Okay.
Loretta Lynn, yeah.
Loretta Lynn. Okay, well, she was dirt poor. Dolly Parton was so dirt poor. I think she
was she?
Yeah, and she would share a bed with her siblings, and to keep warm, they would pee in the bed.
Oh man.
Oh my gosh.
That's how bad it was. That's how bad it was.
That's so sad.
Yeah, they had nothing. And she, because of her charming voice, because of her charming personality and her voice, she was able to become a singer, and there's just a whole story there, man. That's why she's at the top of my list.
Yeah,
Dolly Parton.
Dolly, okay, yeah, I'd watch that. Heck yeah,
I would too. And I want to also preface, I'm not a fan of biopics, but the ones that we're mentioning, I'm like, okay, I could see this. I would be interested in watching.
Yeah.
And this is also weird because these are people's lives as well. So it's weird to want to look into them as well. If you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, it's weird to want to peek into people's personal lives and whatever. But I mean, that's what you sign up for, unfortunately, when you become famous. So.
Yeah.
Well,
Brian,
it's
what's-
inspirational too. I mean,
Yeah,
it
definitely.
can be.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I agree.
It's
Definitely.
Everybody loves rags to riches stories.
Yes.
You know, and with a lot of these guys, Johnny Cash, Ray, Aretha Franklin, these guys were all super poor. Like, just, you know, sweat of the earth, you know, dirt of the earth people, you know. And then they use their talents, their God-given talents, truly, and then they're able to entertain millions. And yeah, they totally got paid, you know.
And sometimes they save their family financially through what could have been a disaster. You know, they're the ones who provide sometimes for their families. Like if you start young, especially. Like Michael started young. Michael Jackson started in
Like
Jackson
5
5.
years old.
He was itty
Yeah.
bitty. And that's why the father was so adamant on his sons becoming big, because they were not any hot shots or anything. So he was like, you're going to be paying our bills, boys.
There
So-
was nothing going on in Gary, Indiana.
Anyways, so who's next?
Brian, you keep going.
Okay, so for a lot of these, I was totally lax, even though I brought it up to like cast. Mm-hmm. But I was like, man, I'm not gonna cast Chris Pratt as Beethoven or something.
Oh my gosh, Beethoven.
Jeez.
But
Hey,
the
that'd
first
be a
one I
good
thought about was I've never seen a good movie about the life of Beethoven. And I thought that'd be really interesting to see a good musical biopic about Beethoven. Who
That
had
is
one of
such a
the
good
most
idea.
maddening musical lives in history, period. Just to see, I mean, he was one of those kids that his father was a drunk and would wake him up like when he was 5-6 years old at like 3 a.m. to practice piano and all that. And then he was just a maddening guy. He lost hearing, but he was still able to craft this exquisite music.
In addition to that, his father was also abusive. Part of the reason that they suspect that part of the reason why he lost his hearing is because his father would whack him in the ears. And so they think that's part of the reason why he lost his hearing at such an early age.
People should not be parents.
Yeah.
But at least we had Beethoven. We still had Beethoven. Yay.
Yeah. There is on YouTube. There is actually a wonderful biography where it is acted in some parts. Like half of it is biographers describing his life, and then some of it is acted. And there's one scene. Man, there's one scene where it describes at how good he was at embellishing and improvising on music that had already been composed. It's like a piano battle in a like they're having a party, which was common in those times. And so one of the things they would do they would bring in these musicians, and they would just listen to them and critique their music and say, oh, he's an up and coming whatever. So
like Amadeus.
yeah, same idea.
Yeah.
And so same time period even. So there was this highly regarded pianist, but we don't know his name because he had a name. But he's not remembered because Beethoven played after him. And it was like,
dang it! I was almost famous.
Yeah, he was whipped, and you could just see and hear the, like, it's like how people, the ladies reacted to Elvis, where they just couldn't contain themselves and they just. It was the same thing with Beethoven, where they're like. With their fans, like, oh my, oh. Yeah.
I've got the fit of the vapors.
Oh,
Yes.
and so with they got like heaving bosoms and everything. So
Yes.
in movies, they
Heaving.
love that kind of thing. Well, it is.
Yeah.
They're wearing those corsets, and next thing you know, their chests are right by their chins.
I've got that same problem sometimes when I sit down. It's like the
All
chick
right.
from Heart. Anyway, that's going way off. Do you have another one, Brian?
Another one I had was Stevie Ray Vaughan, personal one that I liked.
Ooh, very good.
I knew Stevie Ray Vaughan, guitar virtuoso. I don't know much about like his younger years or his impressionable years, but he died in a helicopter crash,
Oh my
very
gosh.
young. So it was just a freak accident, I think. But he was also on drugs for a lot of those years that he's making killer guitar music and everything. I just thought but he was a very interesting looking guy too. He wore like a Zorro hat. His whole outfit looked like Zorro, sort of.
I have Puss in Boots.
Yeah. So I always thought like Stevie Ray Vaughan, like a live movie or something like that, would be pretty neat.
Gosh, and what sucks is also you already know how like the story goes and how the story ends for these people. So you're just sitting there waiting in anticipation, like, oh man, it's coming up. Ah! Especially for a helicopter crash, you're like, man, it's gonna happen. Ah, there it is.
Don't do it. Don't get in the.
Yeah, don't do it,
Stevie. No.
That's so messed up.
Oh my gosh. Dang.
All right, so Katie, you've got yours.
Okay. I'll try to be quick.
Wait,
Alright, so-
am I done or
Or
can
no,
I-
did you have
don't
more?
have to be. You don't have to be, man.
If you had
No,
more,
no,
go
just
for it.
Really quick. I'll just go through like my other ones that I had.
Yeah.
I feel like this movie would be like one of the greatest epics of all time because it's like over 60 years of music. So the Rolling Stones should get a
I thought
good
about
biopic.
them too.
But I think that maybe even be too big. It might be too huge because it's a lot of guys. It's Mick and Keith and those guys.
I will say, I actually, in accordance with that, or similar to that, I did put Paul McCartney. I kind of put them together.
Yeah.
The thing is, it's like I don't know if they had like troubled youths, or anything. But I mean, their careers span
Well,
the better part of the 20th century.
here's even the thing: you don't need to start at the beginning, like with their childhood or anything.
Yeah, it's a good.
You
point.
can kind of
It's a good
pick
point.
where you want to start with these things and kind of pick and choose the information. Just like with Michael Jackson, you can pick and choose what you want to be in this biopic.
Yeah, I mean, you could choose when Paul McCartney exits the Beatles and just that whole the aftermath or
Yeah.
something like that. Then my final one that I had on here, John Williams, just another composer,
Ooh.
one of the greatest composers.
Okay.
Okay, how interesting is his life, though?
Yeah, see, that's the thing. It was like,
But
well,
no, you can even for me personally, I find it
What
very
hardships?
fascinating to see how their music came to be. What does their mind think about when they create such masterpieces?
Yeah, you'd like to know like what's their inspiration
Yes.
for a lot of these pieces, but
And maybe a film isn't needed per se. Maybe like a short doc or something.
But
a
I mean, there's
documentary.
been docs. There's been docs though.
Yeah. So it's hard to tell, but I personally would be interested in those types of things because I'm always fascinated by how artists like that find inspiration, especially when it doesn't always have to do with like the typical story of like drugs or, women, men, blah, blah, blah. Stuff like that, because it's just like, oh gosh, it's always like that for people. I kind of want to see someone who didn't have to do all of those sorts of things and still make it big. You know?
All right, Katie, it's all you, man.
All right. So my first one, I would actually lump together as like kind of how we were talking with Tupac and Biggie. It would be these stories that come together, these lives that come together, and it's like the birth of jazz. So you'd focus on 4 people: Louis Armstrong, Miles Davis, Ella Fitzgerald, and Frank Sinatra.
That would be so fun.
Oh yeah, and all of
The
them
way it would be
have-
filmed would be really cool.
Yeah, all of them have such diverse backgrounds. And then how they come together. They've all played with each other at one point or another. And just seeing the world through their eyes and how they perceive jazz, it's one medium, but it's done in such a diverse way.
Mm-hmm.
And they all have their own styles, and so how they mix their colors together is very interesting. I don't know how I would cast it, but I think with two people I could maybe see something. With Frank Sinatra, I could see Bradley Cooper playing Frank Sinatra.
He's doing Leonard Bernstein right now. He's doing the Leonard
Interesting.
Bernstein biopic. Yeah.
Interesting. And then my man Idris Elba, he could play Miles Davis.
Mm-mm.
That'd be one biopic. It'd be massive. It'd be like 3 hours long. Another one would be Willie Nelson.
Okay.
What a wild ride. I feel like that guy is just a legend, and he's just got, like, when you look at him, you just see story. This guy's got stories. He's been everywhere.
Man.
Yeah, but wrong person. And I could see Robert Duvall maybe playing him.
He's done, man. Duvall's done.
I know, but I mean, I could still see him playing as Willie Nelson. And I'll list these other two, and then I'll give my honorable mentions.
All right.
Frank Zappa, if you know who Frank Zappa is.
Eclectic 70s musician.
Yeah. What a weird / cool guy. He didn't do any drugs. I don't know if you know this. He didn't do drugs. He was highly opposed to drugs. He didn't do them. He was like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, you're an idiot if you do drugs. So all of it was just in his head. But his father, I think, was a chemist. And so he was always looking at, like, weird things. And sadly, he was exposed to mercury as a kid. He would play with liquid mercury.
Oh, rip that guy.
Which led to his eventual passing of cancer. But what, like, an interesting perspective he would have. It's almost like Dark Side of the Moon kind of thing. Oh my gosh, not The Who. What's the band?
Pink Floyd.
Pink Floyd, thank you. Pink Floyd kind of thing. Last one that I could see a biopic of is Chuck Berry. And this would be the comeback, the career comeback, if done right, for Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy he was nominated for an Oscar for he was in
recently?
he was in Dreamgirls, and he played
right.
like
that was a few years ago.
Yeah, that was a few years ago for that.
Yeah. Honorable mentions: Bob Marley, Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah, I thought
that is such a good idea, Bob.
Yeah, Bob Marley, Jimi Hendrix, Stevie Nicks, Britney Spears, and Brian Wilson of the Beach Boys.
So here's the thing about Britney Spears. Britney was actually hearing rumors that Millie Bobby Brown was going to be playing her in a biopic. And she was like, I'm not dead, you know?
Yeah.
Like, no.
Not yet.
Yeah.
So
No.
apparently she is not fond of them trying to kill her off already and write her story while she's still alive. So, which I can respect. That's okay.
Do you think, though, like, in these biopics, like, the musicians have to be somewhat revolutionary in order to be
interesting? Yes. Unfortunately, yes. I personally think so.
Or they have to change how music is done or perceived in a way, you know.
Kind of. Because then what else is there to be?
Because, I mean, you could do a biopic on, like, U2, but it's not
as interesting. What are you going to write about?
You know, you know, or like Billy Joel, you know.
I don't know. I feel like you need
Creed.
Your thing. Oh,
my
no.
gosh. No.
That does not need to happen.
Maybe Metallica.
I thought about Metallica, but I was like, I think those were white suburban kids that were like, we're just gonna do things our way, you know.
But there's nothing wrong with that, because like you have the Steve Jobs. You know, there are movies and film or documentaries and whatever about how exciting Steve Jobs was. He was just a guy who went to college and, you know, worked out of
he revolutionized a whole thing. He was he
but
changed life.
When you think about heavy metal, it's Metallica.
Yeah, but then it's like, well, then Kiss. Give me a biopic on Kiss. Then,
I think that could be a thing, legitimately.
I would prefer a story.
And they did Motley Crue. The Motley Crue one's on Netflix. You know, I don't recommend it.
There was also one on Poison, but
I don't think I've seen that one.
It was dumb. I would prefer to see the thought process of Kiss on Scooby-Doo. Where did that come from?
Yeah.
Where did it come from? I am all for it. How did it happen?
That's like Korn when they went on South Park, you know.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, do you guys have any others that you want to throw out real quick, or? I like Brian that you brought up classical music though with Beethoven.
Yeah.
That
Garth Brooks maybe. I'm looking
He
at
already did a dog.
all genres. Garth Brooks is one of the greatest country singers of all time.
That's why we've got Dolly.
And Willie. But maybe you would, if you were gonna do country music like that, you would probably do oh my gosh, what's that?
Waylon Jennings.
No, not Waylon. Oh my gosh, there are two guys. There's a blind guy. He's a blind singer. Oh my god, his name is gonna hit me like while I'm sleeping. But then you also have the guy that Mom loves.
Phil Collins?
No.
Oh.
Travis Tritt?
No, not Travis Tritt. Good gosh, hold on.
Hank Williams?
No, that could be a good one. George Strait. Yeah. Hallelujah. George Strait,
but yes, again, it's okay. It's just like a honky tonk movie.
No, well, listen. George Strait is the greatest selling he's the highest selling country singer of all time.
Really?
not selling. No, he's had more number one hits than any other country singer.
I was like, I thought Garth was.
See, and I think that's what it needs to be. You have to either have created something, have had miraculous music like the Beatles, or like created something new, meaning like Elvis or Michael Jackson. You had to have revolutionary music like the Beatles, something like that, or number one hits. I think that's what you have to do.
No, but George Strait, like, is his life like movie? He doesn't have a comeback. Like all these movies, they have a comeback in them. There's like a second act comeback where they're like, "Wow, George Strait is huge." George Strait's career was always like. It was always even. Like, and everyone's like, it was always like, I'm George Strait.
George Strait was so straight that his music career was just a flat line.
Yeah, he was just always solid. You know, he's never.
That's why I would be so into making that jazz biopic with everybody there. It was tragic. You've got the mafia. Louis Armstrong and Frank Sinatra were huge into the mafia. There was drugs. There was prohibition, illegal liquor.
That makes an interesting story.
Yeah, you've got this you want to talk about rags to riches? And then this constant up and down. Miles Davis was racist against white people. I don't think a lot of people know that. But you've got mistreatment of people because of their color. That is the best.
Here's another one. Kind of going back with like what I said with Linkin Park, is Radiohead. To make such weird, outlandish music, where actually is your head to create music like that, you know? Yes. So I think that would be interesting too. Maybe a biopic is not necessary, but an interesting story that I feel like would be good to be heard or like cool to be heard. Now, changing gears on that one, on the complete opposite, ABBA.
Yeah.
Are they interesting? Maybe? I don't know.
They had that big fight at the end. And they refused. I don't know what that fight was about, but they refused.
If they joined forces right now and became with the huge selling with big songs, I'd be like, oh yeah, that'd be cool. But they haven't. They were offered $1 billion to join back, and they said no. So
wow.
No.
Yeah. Sly and the Family Stone.
Don't know it.
I was thinking about Beastie Boys.
Oh, I like Beastie Boys, but I don't know. Is their story interesting?
I don't know. They're white boys doing rap music when nobody else did.
One last one.
The story of Sly and the Family Stone's pretty interesting. Go check it out. Also, really quick, if you want to watch, it's not a documentary or anything, but it is a videoed album, if that makes sense, of Radiohead. They do In Rainbows, and it's called Scotch Mist. They perform all their songs New Year's Eve of 2006, and it is mesmerizing.
I do not like Radiohead. It is like creepy. It gives me anxiety listening to their music. I feel uncomfortable.
I absolutely adore Radiohead.
I cannot.
Yes.
But that will conclude this week's episode of Bump That. If you guys have some music options that you're like, yes, I want to see this person's life on the big screen, let us know down in the comments below. Also, if you have not hit that subscribe button, you need to hit it and join the family. You will be an honorary sibling right away. Guys, this is episode 98. If you're not subscribed yet, we're almost at the 100th episode. We want you to be there. Be a sibling for that special moment, okay? Well, I mean, it was a good episode. What did you guys think? I think it led into a better direction than I thought it would. So, not that I thought it was bad. No, okay, not for you. For me, I didn't think I had much to say, and then it turned out I had more to say than I thought. So I'm glad you suggested this one, Brian.
You had probably the best one.
Yay!
Yeah, I think Chester, A Bennington Story.
That would be so good and so tragic and so sad.
Wait, and Michael Cera as Chester Bennington.
Oh no, ruined it. Okay, you ruined it. Anyways, we've got Brian in this corner.
Get away from me!
We've got KT in this corner.
Gladly, ew.
And I'm Ileana, your host, signing off on yet another episode of Bump That. Thank you guys so much for listening, and we will see you in next week's video. Bye-bye!
Supposed to go, shut up when I'm talking to you. Shut up!
That's a different song.